Welcome back to FryMinis. I'm Eric, and today we have a very special video. We're talking about WizKids Frameworks Minis. I've been very excited about these for quite a while now. WizKids makes unpainted miniatures in the Nolzur's lines and a couple other versions, but the Nolzur's are the D&D specific miniatures. And those are great, and they're pre-primed, so you get a lot of value out of those, but they're not the super duper high-end customizable type of mini that a lot of people look for. A lot of times they have to go off to 3D printing or using miniatures from other companies. Well, I'm very excited that WizKids has an answer to that now. A while ago, WizKids sent over a couple of these preview boxes. We've talked about them on some of the streams and things, but now we've got the actual release type minis, and they look great. I'm impressed by the packaging just off the bat, so what's inside has to be great, right? Okay, so you ask, what are frameworks? What does that mean? This is a new product line. These are sprue based minis, so that means these are all more or less like injection molded pieces of high impact polystyrene, which is nice because that means you can use super glue or plastic cement to put them all together. So a sprue is this piece of plastic that you can see how everything is all on one like sheet kind of. So what you do is you take these pieces with little clippers and you cut these parts out, and then you can super glue them together or cement them together in whatever style you want. You can customize them. If you want one with a sword, cool. If you want one with an axe, cool. You can change these. They all come with a bunch of different options. And probably my favorite part of something like this is you have these pieces left over and you can collect them, and then you can build like this whole bucket full of these random pieces, and then you can build your own minis with those leftovers. Okay, a little more basic information. These are available beginning very, very soon. They're launching in March 2022. They should be available. You can head on, of course, into a local store, but my favorite place to get minis, and if somebody doesn't send them to me, I'm 99% chance I'm going to go buy them on miniaturemarket.com. And these are all also available on miniaturemarket.com. And if you really like miniaturemarket.com, check out our Spud Club Painting Challenge. And you can see we've got it's kind of like a painting contest, and you can enter and win. And we have all sorts of prizes, gift cards, and you can pick Miniature Market as your gift. And stay tuned, but there might be a little extra special prize in there next month. Next month's theme is Martial March. So think like fighters and warriors and paladins and things like that. And Miniature Market might be throwing in a little booster on there. So keep your eyes peeled. FryMinis.com/SCPC, Spud Club Painting Challenge. Or just go to FryMinis.com and you'll see it at the top. And two quick disclaimers. Miniature Market didn't pay, and WizKids didn't pay. None of this stuff is sponsored. Miniature Market, they're sending those gift cards for next month, and they've sent me some other miniatures that we're going to review later. And then WizKids sent these minis. We're under no obligation on anything, on what we're saying, whatever. We're getting these to do reviews and to help you out and have fun. This initial launch of Frameworks, there are 32 different miniatures. Between player characters and monsters. Prices start at $14.99 for kind of like a basic player character, scaling all the way up to $99.99 for the big bad Baylor, the biggest one in the set. I was very fortunate to receive quite a few of these minis, and then a couple of monster sets. So for this particular video, we're going to start off with something pretty straightforward: the female dwarf barbarian. She looks really cool. She's got some really great options. I think she should be a lot of fun to put together, and I'm really jazzed. And then in the future, we'll do more videos and more streams on the actual minis. But we're gonna start off in our streams and things. We're going to work on painting the Beholder. I'm so excited for the Beholder. All right, that's enough jabber-jawing. Let's get down to business. All right, we're gonna grab our box. This is nice. It's easy to understand. It looks good. We've got a good preview of all the different pieces inside and a put together example on the outside. We're gonna grab our X-Acto knife and open up the box. Inside of a plastic bag, we have another plastic bag. This plastic bag contains a base, clear base, appropriate to the size of the Mini. We've got our sprue. Every piece is labeled with a different letter that's going to correspond to the instructions that we have here. These are the alternative pieces for which goes where and ideas on how to put it together. We're going to grab our nippers and we're going to put the flat side up against the Mini to get as clean of a cut as possible. We're going to snip off the pieces we're going for. And I thought we'd go for some kind of ceremonial, very fancy type style. And the ham. Now, because we snipped these, we need to clean them up a little bit with this file. Just nothing crazy here. Just zip, zip, zip. We always want to try to put the pieces together before we begin to glue, so we have an idea of how it's going to fit. We got this extra thin cement, glue on each side, hold it together for a second, and you're good to go. It's really good. Super glue works too. Now it's time to prime. I'm using the airbrush. It's great. I love priming with the airbrush. It's my favorite way to prime. It's so thin and smooth and just wonderful. And here's how it looks. Now, one thing I want to call out, on the left here, we have our nolzers, and you can see how thick that primer is. So this is where the airbrush is really nice. Okay, we're going to start painting. We're kicking off with putting down just some base coat layers. We're going with a flesh color. Now we're going to cover this all up with contrast later. We're just separating out those base colors from the black primer. I love those cloaks. I think they've used those on a couple different minis. They're great. The feather head dress is awesome. This yellow, that's going to be leather. We've got some wooden handles, and we're going with like a light bluish grayish for these leather pieces here. I love a gold weapon, gold headdress, especially for something as kind of goofy as this. The big belt also. We've got this little skirt part too. Whatever. All right, now time for contrast. We're putting in some skin color. We're going with a darker skin to kind of match the box design. We're bringing in some blues and some grays here for the feathers, our browns for that cloak. You know, just trying to make it look nice. Contrast paints are great. We're really bringing out detail on those axes. We're bringing in a little bit of highlighting too, and then we're actually going to cover that back up again, detailing with some gold. The eyeballs, white dots, and then just grab a little micron pen and doop, doop. And that's the best way to do eyeballs, I think. And then we're working on that base. We're cleaning up where the feet were and take it off and glue it down onto the little base. Simple, easy peasy, really fun tabletop ready mini. Okay, there we go. We've got one dwarf barbarian, fully customized to what I was going for, with these really kind of extravagant options. I think of this as like maybe like the royal or ceremonial armor or something like that. I could see with the big feather headdress. I can think that could be a lot of fun. Fun fact with this one, according to the instructions, which I am clearly not good at following, that head isn't recommended with that cape because of how deep that cape is. So we had to get a little clever, a little creative with the gluing, but we made it happen. And that's what's fun, I think, about customizing our minis in this way, is we can do whatever we want. I ended up not using the ham because I just felt she didn't really have a place to wear it after all. But we could have like maybe cut off one of the axes and then put the ham in the hand, and that could have been fun, wielding a ham. Who knows? So what are my final thoughts on the WizKids D&D Frameworks minis? I'm a fan. I think the minis themselves are excellent. I think the detail we're able to get now that we're not going with that Nolzer style pre-priming is very noticeable, the difference there. I do have some cautions with this, right? So it's not as easy as just popping a mini out of a blister pack and then putting some paint on it and calling it a day. We have to cut and we have to glue and we have to assemble and we have to choose what pieces. So there's more work into it and more thought that needs to go into it. And while that can give you greater results, it also is introducing some risk failure points that if you mess it up, like, you could mess it up. This whole process with the cutting it out, gluing it together, priming it and painting it, that took under an hour and a half. I am not a particularly fast painter, nor am I a super slow painter. I think I'm kind of in the middle there. I like to think of minis as a 3-inch rule or a 3-foot rule. Does it look good 3 inches away from your face, like your artistic style mini, or does it look good 3 feet away on the table with what you're playing? I clearly painted this to the 3-foot style. And also the price point. The price point is higher here. So these start at $14.99, right? A Nolzur's, you can get a 2-pack usually for like $5. So there's a significant price difference there. They've got some really great options. Again, of course, check those all out at miniaturemarket.com. If you've watched my videos for a while, you know that's genuinely my favorite place to buy minis. And again, of course, a huge thank you to WizKids for sending this all over. So at the end of the day, Frameworks definitely gets a thumbs up from me. I can't really compare this to 3D printer technology. I don't have a 3D printer. If anybody knows any 3D printer companies that want to work with me, let me know. I'm so excited. This is great. I love this line. I'm not even going to try to play neutral or anything here. I think this is great. All right, let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. It was fun. So much fun to do this video. We'll see you in the next one. Check us out, FryMinis.com. Like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.